Hey there, I just finished this one and I don't really know how to do the review of this one because there is lots of things going on and lots of characters, viewpoints, and I think that it's created so masterfully that you have like these loose streets, and if you have read the first one, you know all the characters that somehow they mingle but not, but sometimes they cross paths but they don't, and they don't stay together. But in this one, you have all those low streets, all those characters, all that situations that we had in the first one, and the author just kind of interwoves all of them, and it creates like such an astonishing masterpiece. I mean, it's amazing. First of all, if you haven't read the first one, that it's There Will Come a Darkness, just stop seeing the review because it's going to have spoilers of the first one. As you can see, that's the second one in the trilogy, As the Shadow Rises, and it's written by Cathy Rose Paul. And I have to say that one of the things that I love about this trilogy is that it's very dark, and I think I like that, not because it's dark per se, but because sometimes when you're reading fantasy, epic fantasy, this kind of things, you have all those characters that maybe they are in the wrong, but they see the light and they change, and you know what I mean. But in here, you have characters that have been abused, that have been treated like the lesser hand in life, and sometimes they do right things and sometimes they do wrong things and sometimes they completely lose their way. And it's that kind of darkness that I find in this book that I enjoy, because I mean, human beings are not perfect, and in this book we have people who have abilities called graces, and they can do some sort of, it's not magic, but and it's like The Boys in the television series and also in the comic books. If people could have powers, I mean, there will be people that will use it for the good purpose, and there will be people that will misuse that or use for bad purposes. And I think that this book illustrated it so well. We're going to be following diverse characters as we did in the first one. We're going to find Jude again. He's trying to come to terms with the fact that he's expected to be like this very important figure, but he keeps on feeling like this is not what he wants. It was the path that was chosen for him because of the family he comes from, and he has been trained all his life to be this kind of paladin. But he doesn't want that, because to do that he has to forfeit everything he feels, and he feels a lot, and he wants a lot of things, and he's falling for Anton. But if he's a paladin, he has to forsake all his feelings. But he has this struggle in him from the first book, and here we are going to come to some sort of resolution about that. I'm not going to say anything, but for me it was amazing to see him struggling between what he really is and the expectations of everyone around him. Everyone is pushing him to be something, that it's his destiny, it's his path, but he doesn't see it like that. He wants to be someone different. He wants to do other things with his life. And I think that it's something that lots of us can relate. And the fact that he has feelings for Anton, and that complicates everything, because Anton, that's going to be also one of our narrators, sorry. Anton is the prophet, and he has to be the one that saves the day, but he also has feelings for Jude, and he also is afraid because what does it exactly means that he's the prophet, what is expected of him, and he's afraid that he's not going to be able to deliver what everyone is also expecting him to. He comes from a very abusive relationship with his family, and he has been mistreated by his grandmother, by his brother, so he is trying to find his way through life, and then suddenly someone dumps on him that he's the prophet, and he's like, what? And I love the evolution that Anton does, from deciding that he wants to run away from everything just to grab Jude and just go, to deciding to stay and fight for something that he believes in, even if it's not exactly what everyone expects him to fight for. But you have to find who you are and fight for the things you love. So yeah, and I love the relationship these two characters have, and I love the feelings they have for each other, and I love how they evolve and they keep, and I love these two. Also, we're going to be following Fira. I don't know exactly how it's pronounced, sorry. And he's going to be looking for the Callis that can help her sister stop being a revenant. And she's going to list a bunch of people who are going to be with her just trying to find the Callis. And I did love that because it reminded me of Tomb Raider, because they go through all these tombs and all these places and they have to solve these puzzles in order to find the Callis. And I did love what Katy did with this character. I mean, I love what she did with all the characters. For me, it's the best part of the books. But you have characters that you love in the previous book because you understand what they're going through. And then you have characters that you end up hating in the second book. For me, Faida was one of them. I can understand what she goes through, and I can understand how she flips and how she, some of the things that happen to her and she decides to do in this book. But I also wanted to strangle her and say, okay, stop and think, girl. But I can understand it. It's what I was saying before. When you have this power, you have these abilities, and you have found rock bottom, I mean, you know what I mean? She just lashes out. And it's not the same lashing out when you are just furious and you're like a regular human being, but when you have power beside you. I mean, yeah, I can understand where she's coming from. I can empathize with her, even if I ended up hating her in this one. Beru is the sister of a fire, and if we remember the first book, she's a revenant. She was brought back to life by her sister, and here she's trying to atone by all the lives that she and her sister have taken in order to make her being able to, to survive. And I love how she feels that she has this need to atone for everything. And I love that she somehow finds herself in the company of Hector. If you remember, Hector was in the first book. I'm not going to tell you what happens to him. You're going to have to read this book to know why he appears now. But I also love the relationship that evolves between these two characters. And yeah, I'm not going to say much more about him. And as I was saying, this book is amazing because the story keeps moving forward about this age of darkness that has to come, and all this bunch of people. I'm forgetting Hassan. Sorry. King Hassan comes back and he finds himself in the middle of a revolution because there is some people who want to take back the city, but they're going to use methods that he doesn't agree with. And also there is this guy who seems like he wants to claim, the place that should be Hassan's, and it's like these two guys, and I love how he keeps on changing and trying to adapt and trying to, to decide what he should do. And I love his relationship with Kepri because, as I say, this book can be dark, but it's real because they find each other in different places, because Kepri decides that maybe the rebellion is right and Hassan is in the wrong. So it strains the relationship, and this is something that can happen in real life when people find themselves, in opposite sides of something. And I do love to find this in here. Now that I got more or less all the characters covered, let's say that, as I was saying, the book it's moving forward with this idea that there is people who want to bring for the Age of Darkness that will destroy the world as we know it, and there is people who want to stop it. And I love how all the pieces, and as I say, all the threads just, become to tangle themselves together in this book. And the ending, which I'm not going to say anything about it, it's like, you cannot leave me hanging there. I mean, where's the third one coming out? I do love how everything kind of comes together. I love that everything that we have seen in the previous book and in this one just makes sense, and how everything and everyone, more importantly, have their part to play. And I love how, it all comes together, and yeah, I love it. I love how Katy writes, and I love how, despite having this multi-narrator thing, the story never drags or never feels like you're reading the same, but every character moves the story, and having different characters in different places in the world, it also helps you to see different pieces of the chessboard that you wouldn't be able to see if you were following just one character. And I have to say that if you love the first one, this second one, it's amazing. I mean, I love how this this world keeps on giving, and I really, really, really need to read the third one because yeah, the ending. I mean, the ending. And yeah, if you like dark fantasy, if you like epic fantasy, if you like books that show people as they will be if they really had powers or abilities, pick this one up because it's amazing. So thank you for watching. Bye.